Hey everybody, welcome back to This Deluxe Life TV. My name is T.
And my name is Kareem.
And we are here to talk about Married at First Sight Season 14, Episode 12. But before we get started, I'm going to have Kareem tell you a little bit about his channel.
My channel is All The Way Live Media. You can follow, like, and subscribe for all kinds of cool content from cars to toys to any kind of nerdy thing that you might be interested in.
It's been more like toys and custom action figures and stuff lately.
Because it's cold outside. I can't go outside. So yeah, I've been featuring my action figure collection. And it's like a lot of my figure collection is custom. Like it's custom. I got one of a kind pieces. I've got kid bashes that I've been putting in together. So if you or your significant other is into that type of deal, come on over. It's a good time.
It is a good time. So let's get rolling. But actually, before we do that, I'm going to ask you to like our page, like this video, subscribe to our page, get in the comments, talk back to us, let us know what you think of our content, our conversation. We're doing this because we want to connect with you guys. And for those who have been commenting so far, thank you so much. It makes me very excited every time I see a comment. So keep on doing what you're doing. Thank you.
All right.
So who do we want to start with?
Well, I think we should start with the Elijah and Katina drama.
Okay.
And the way that kind of wrapped up. It kind of wrapped up a little anticlimactically because we didn't really get to see any of pretty much the making up or anything like that.
It wrapped up exactly the way I thought it would because Katina is really at all costs trying to stay in this marriage.
Well, yeah.
So it wrapped up exactly as I thought it would. So I think that was the anticlimactic part. It was her apologizing multiple times and him saying, I need to get control of my emotions. But so Katina went and she, got some outside feedback from Jasmina and Michael. And I really felt like, of course, that's for the show so they could record that. But I really felt like she should have gotten that real outside feedback from her actual friends that know her and love her and care about her. People that will be able to speak with a little bit more objectivity because they don't know him like that. And it just in terms of like what is taking place. Katina, is this really you to be able to, navigate the situation in the way you're navigating the situation? I just really felt like her actual friends should have been involved because every time she talks to her friends, everything's good. He's my soft place. He's my, and I'll be like, girl, who, what? Who we talking about?
Yeah, and the whole exchange between them and the two couples, it was like, this seems a little forced. Especially when Michael went to go talk to Elijah, because you could tell Elijah was like really standoffish. He really didn't want to be there. Michael asked him about the conversation between him and Katina, and Elijah was like, yeah, I'm not talking about the conversation. I mean, I don't know why not. He probably already heard a lot from Katina anyway, but you end up telling him about the situation so you end up telling him about the situation, which was the conversation, and you told him, essentially that you saw an app on the phone and you was angry about it. You made yourself angry about it.
Truly, because there was nothing to be angry about.
You invented a fictional scenario and then you got mad about it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing to it. And then you try to come up, like Michael's trying to explain, so she wasn't logged in. And Elijah was like, well, she could log in and log out. I'm like, come on, bro. That's
what Isaac would do. You know what I mean?
Because he said himself, that's what I would do.
And that's what we said the last time we recorded this. We said you are projecting.
It's projecting, definitely. And, it was a dumb thing, and he's just kind of sticking to it because I don't think he's done kind of breaking her in yet. He's like, right. he's trying to break her, and he's not done yet.
Right.
And, I think as she seems to be falling forward, at least on camera.
Absolutely. And like even going back to our conversation when we watched it last night, she's, saying to the camera, they're both to the camera, and she's saying, I apologize and I'll apologize again, which I'm like, First of all, you should have
Yeah.
apologized before, and now you're apologizing again. Like, you looking stupid right now. And he was like, and I learned that I need to keep a closer check on my emotions, or however he worded it. And like, we talked about that for a little bit, and I was just like, to me, that is not acceptable.
He's not, because he's not apologizing for what he did.
No.
He's just apologizing for the way he acted.
Right. And these little things, like, it's always little things. And because he's always looking for something to be angry about, so that he can blow up at her, so that he can get her feeling like she's done something wrong, and that she can apologize, and he can then bestow his love, or like, or whatever. I appreciate you, is what he said, onto her. And so that, for at least temporarily, she feels worthy and on top of the world. But this is the cycle that's going to go round and round again, over and over again. Like, he is gaslighting to the nth degree, and she just seems to be really here for it.
Yeah, and nobody, like, he got to talk to his coach, right? And his coach was like, well, yeah, I know you. You're not a bad guy. I'm sorry, coach. You don't know him. You don't know him the way she knows him. Like,
yeah,
you don't know. I think as close as y'all might be, him, Elijah said that he's been a father figure. Obviously, Elijah is about 30 years old, so he's been out of, whatever school system that this was in. I don't know if it's college or high school or whatever, but he's been out of it for 5, 6, 10 years. You know what I mean? So, but you don't know Elijah socially, and you don't know him like, unfortunately, Katina is starting to know him. So you don't know what he's capable of and how he treats people.
And he keeps saying, the coach was saying, he tends to get amped up, blah, blah, blah. Like, so that's what you do on the field.
That's not acceptable.
That's what you might do in the locker room. That's not acceptable in a relationship.
That's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable to be yelling at someone, demeaning someone, questioning their intelligence, questioning their commitment, questioning their maturity, their abilities, all of these things, simply because she didn't do what you would have done in that situation. And like, this could have been over anything. This could have been over, dominoes or napkins on a table versus in a napkin holder. Whatever it was, he would have picked that same argument about it, because you're a wife. You're a wife. He would have did that same thing. And then she would have been, you don't treat me like this. This is not right. I feel like I'm getting beat up, but I apologize. Okay.
She ain't had nothing to apologize.
Not at all.
Like,
not at all.
And that's just their relationship. So I really do hope at some point she snaps out of it. Yeah. It don't seem like she will. They got 20 days left. I don't know how many. They did 4 days this episode. So I'm assuming, it's like 4 or 5 more episodes left in this season.
Something tells me from last season, like, there was like 20 plus episodes. There were so many episodes.
20. I mean, this show must be a cash cow.
Oh, it is. Absolutely.
This show must be a cash cow because they run a lot of commercials, and the commercials seem to get, it seems to be more commercial breaks towards the end of the show. And there's a lot of filler, and the filler is to give you 2-hour-long episodes,
right? And even that silly, predictions, in the middle last week that they did, even that was just so that they could run more commercials. Yeah. Nobody wanted this. Nobody needs this. All these people should break up.
Yeah, pretty much.
All of them. Like, all these people should break up.
Yeah. So let's move on.
Yeah. Who do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about Michael and
Jasmina.
Yeah.
Okay. So Michael and Jasmina, I definitely like that they are getting along, that they are developing a friendship now, it seems. It was cute. He was like, trying to show off his cooking skills. She was doing her little happy food dance, all that kind of stuff. That's cute. But I don't feel them getting closer romantically. Yeah. Michael is very afraid to make any kind of move, even though he's into her. And he keeps telling her, I'm fighting for this marriage. I'm going to do, all the things that I can do. I recognize that I wasn't doing everything that I could before. And, part of that was him not knowing what he should do, what he shouldn't do, and being frustrated about their constant arguing. Now that they're past that, I think he feels freer to like kind of lay it on the line. The part that he's not doing, because he doesn't want to cross a boundary for her, is any type of romantic, overture, and I don't know if she needs him to do that before she starts to open up in that regard.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of affection between them.
There's none.
And it's like, I can tell that they are starting to at least like each other.
Mm-hmm.
But she might be the type of woman that's not going to make the first move. She wants the man to make the first move.
Yeah.
And Michael is just like, well, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. And the problem is, like, if nobody wants to make the first move, then it's like no move will be made.
Right.
His sister was a godsend. She said, hey, try something. Just a little something.
Little small
like,
things.
Grab her hand, kiss her hand. I mean, these are my words.
Right.
Like, just grab her hand, kiss her hand, like, do little romantic gestures to let her know that you have romantic affection for her. She's obviously an attractive girl, and I think even she knows that you think that. So why don't you tell her that you want to be closer to her? And this is not like to initiate, sex and all that, but just to let her know that,
that you feel affection.
Those little things that will send someone's heart aflutter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and that kind of stuff happens. You know what I'm saying?
Give it a look. Hold her hands. Put an arm around her while you watching TV. Like, these are not huge gestures, but it is a gesture.
Yeah.
And it also gives her room to reciprocate if she feels like she wants to. And I think that what she's looking for, perhaps, is an opening. That to feel wanted and then to respond in kind. A lot of people feel that, kind of like, I need an opening before those feelings start to develop. And, she just keeps identifying that she doesn't have the feelings yet. Yeah, I don't even know if she knows what she's waiting for. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, sometimes you're just waiting for that click. You know what I'm saying? And if it don't click, then you're not feeling the romance. And unfortunately, that's the case. Because she's been pretty much saying it verbally for the last 3 episodes. Yeah. She's been feeling it the whole season.
Right.
And expressing it. So, yeah, I think that's the gist of it. Like, he taught her how to, they went through the nice little day out. He taught her how to drive. That was cool. They did the cars. She really, did well on the car test.
Did she? She ran over the cone.
Oh no, I'm talking about on the cards. I'm talking about on the cards. I'm not talking about when she was on.
Oh, okay, the little pretest.
Nah, yeah, the little pretest, and it was fun. It was a romantic thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was cool. But then he took her to drive in the parking lot with the cones and stuff like that. She didn't do too well, but it was her first time behind the wheel of a car. Mm-hmm. So, you can't really blame her.
Yeah.
I don't think I ran over cones my first time in a car, and I was about the same age as her when I learned how to drive. But still, yeah.
I'm glad that they took that step together. I'm glad that he was the one to, kind of encourage her to get her driver's license, to, take her out to practice, all of those things. He didn't have to offer that. And I'm glad that he did. That's a core memory that they're getting to make together. Mm-hmm. And, something significant for her life.
Yeah.
And so hopefully she appreciates the gesture and the effort that he put forth. I think of all the couples, they are the ones that I feel like there is at least a sliver of hope that they might actually make a good couple.
If they make that romantic connection, they're good to go.
Right. And there's the door is not closed on that. She keeps saying that she's open to it. Hopefully she's not just saying that. Hopefully she actually is open to it and just doesn't know how to get over the previous 4 weeks in terms of doing a new thing.
I could tell you this, though. If she just openly says, I don't think she said it to Michael yet, mm-hmm. but if she just openly says, I'm waiting for that thing, that thing that you'll do that'll make me really fall for you, I think he'll be a little bit more.
But I don't even know if she knows that.
Yeah.
I think she's just expecting that the feeling will come.
But sometimes when the brother is scared to pull the trigger, he wants to.
Yeah.
He wants to. He just doesn't want to make you uncomfortable.
And I definitely get that sense.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just that, sometimes you, if you want, like if a woman wants a romantic gesture from the dude, and I'm talking about a physical, romantic gesture, like we're talking about, grab the kiss in the hands and, the soft, gentle kind of things. If a woman wants that, it's okay to, even if you're not initiating it, it's okay to let her know let the guy know that you want that. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's kind of hard because that's not how people really come up. It's usually the guys just trying.
Right.
So, unfortunately, Michael is not really, he's trying to be a good guy.
Yeah, and we even remember from his conversation that they had with Dr. Viviana of him saying, no, he has not made any moves because he wants to let her lead in that area. He doesn't want to make her uncomfortable.
And she wants to be led.
Maybe.
I mean,
we're speculating.
She wants. I think she wants him to make that for a while. Yeah, we are speculating, but I think that's what would work for her because that seems to be the way that it is. But props to Michael for trying, man. He's been making a huge effort.
For sure.
I'm really glad to see.
And I hope that she's actually also making that huge effort because we've heard him many times talk about, how much he's willing to go all out. We haven't heard her say the same except for when they redid their vows. She said something to the effect of, that she's going to fight for this marriage. But outside of that, we haven't heard her say that. And I don't know what she's actually doing to meet his effort, except for just not be mad at him. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's mutual because we definitely see him trying.
I see some improvement in her these last couple.
They're definitely getting along.
Because before that, we was kind of jumping on her for the way she was kind of acting standoffish towards him and really kind of. She did a couple of things that was disrespectful.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? She copping attitudes and stuff like that, but
she put the mean in Jasmina.
Yeah, but these last couple of episodes, she's been doing really well. It seems like they really like each other. I can tell her giddiness and giggles and stuff like that are genuine. So she likes being around him.
Yeah, hopefully it just doesn't turn into friend zone.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah, Michael, just go ahead and make the move. But everybody's waiting for you to do it. Hopefully, if you do it, it works out.
Yeah.
But if not, then it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
You gotta let it go.
Yeah. Let's talk about Mark and Lindsay.
Mark and Lindsay.
Do you want to start?
Mark and Lindsay. This is the most hot and cold relationship out of all of them, and it's really been kind of cool. The funny part about Lindsay is. It seems like every episode, Lindsay's just completely done with Mark.
I'm done. He has to earn me. I'm done.
We're back at zero. It's like every episode. And, and at some point in the episode, they're back to being romantic with each other. And then, so it started out, I think Mark had put some of her clothes in the washing machine. That was probably, I think,
in the dryer.
And it damaged the clothes. And she told him already, not to do that. And he, should have listened. I get it. And it's, I guess that feeling of not being heard can get somebody upset. Mark is like, hey, it's a simple mistake. I get it. I've been there a lot. But it's not really about the error. It's about the fact that that this is a problem and you didn't make it as important to you as your partner did.
And that's what Mark needed to have done and didn't do. So I understand her frustration, but also it feels like just in general, and we were talking about this last night when we watched it, right now we're seeing Lindsay kind of make almost all of the effort. We're not seeing him put in, the same level of work into a relationship in general. And even though Lindsay drinks too much, Lindsay loves to be the center of attention. You know, there's a lot of things about Lindsay that I do not care for. She would not be like a friend of mine. Nevertheless, she does like do her part, you know, in relationships in terms of being there for the person or trying to do things that make them feel, you know, special or whatever. Even the whole, you know, we about to do this shark family photo shoot. I'm sure she don't care nothing about no sharks, but Mark is the shark. You know what I mean? He ain't got to dress up. She dressed up in all blue for the sharks. She got shark outfits for the cats. You know, they the sharks. You know, and he already marked the shark, so he ain't got to dress up. You know, let's do a photo shoot. You know, I thought that was a really nice gesture. But, you know, we get to right before that, and now things is falling apart again over dumb stuff. You know, and I just feel like you were saying earlier, it really is a hot and cold, you know, type of thing. And I feel like Mark cares about her as a person. He sees that she what? He sees that she is like making an effort and being there for him. He also knows, you know, something about her past history. And I think, like he said, that, you know, the anniversary date, that, you know, there are like things that he wish he hadn't done, things that he wants to do to protect her. I think he cares about her as a person. I also don't think that he likes her. He doesn't really like her romantically. He doesn't like the situations that she puts him in. She doesn't really like her personality. And so he's constantly fighting with, I care for her and I want to treat her nice, but I also don't like her very much. And I also can't really have a real detailed conversation the way I want to have it because I'm always feeling like I have to defend myself.
Yeah, I don't think Mark really wants to be there. He did some things that I didn't really like this episode, like when Lindsay was when they were trying to have a conversation about their relationship, and Mark starts talking, and you know, and Mark is expressing his feelings, and Lindsay's like, yeah, because, you know, and she's agreeing with them essentially, like, and she's trying to empathize with them, and he's just like, can I finish? And
right,
like, hold on, like, wait, right. she was empathizing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, and he's just like, essentially, you know, he feels like when it is a tense situation, he feels like anything she does, he's going to have to combat. So, right. You know, as soon as she says something, it's like, as soon as she starts to say something, it's like, okay, I got to fight. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's not okay, bro. Like, she tried to touch him. It's like, stop grabbing me. This woman weighed all of 140 pounds. You about 200. Right. She can't. Her grabbing you was not hurting.
He said gripping.
Yeah, like, and she wasn't. And this wasn't. It was. They weren't even really in a heated debate. She might be grabbing him, but she's not going to hurt him. You know. And sometimes when it is a tense situation, people touch each other. Like, I mean, and it's not like a. It's
not. You know. Like, she's like.
You know. It's like, come on, like, listen, we can get this together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, her old attitude in that conversation was really not that combative.
It wasn't.
It was defensive a little bit, but it was still conversational. Mm-hmm. And Mark is just like, fight. And he's really pushing it. Then later in the episode, you know, she's asking him to try something. Like, he was like, earlier in the episode, he was mad that she was buying vegetables. He's like, we got a budget.
But bacon? Yeah, I get bacon.
Like, and I think he was genuinely mad.
He was.
Like, homeboy was.
He was like, she's gonna have to learn how to stay on budget, and we have a budget. She's like, you like this? No. You like that? No. You like this? No. You like that? No. You know.
I guess it's because he's not going to eat it. He feels like it's a waste of money.
Right.
I mean, like, obviously he should eat vegetables. Like, that's you know, like, how you not eat vegetables, but he doesn't eat it. He felt like it's a waste of money. Lindsay obviously likes vegetables and fruits and so on. And she's like, hey, let's buy some vegetables and fruits. Mark's like, no. And then he confesses, oh, we have a budget. She's over budget on like he's really like flipping out. It was weird to see. And then she tries to get him to taste the dip or something like that.
It was something with pineapple.
Yeah, it was some type of pineapple dip. Yo, that stuff be knocking. Like, come on, bro. Like seriously, like that stuff.
It's true.
If it's cooked right, if it's put together right. I mean, I don't know if Lindsay's put it together right, but I'm pretty sure she know how to do it. You know what I mean? That stuff be knocking. Like, no, he got his chicken fingers and fries. Like,
she said, just stick your fry in it.
Like,
and so he did. And he was like, nope, not for me. No, thanks. And she was like, so you don't like pineapple? Nope.
But yeah, that was strange. That's strange to see. But I guess some people are like, because he's like, because then isn't he the one that never had a taco before?
Right.
Like, so he's not an adventurous eater.
That's not even adventure.
That's not. Yeah, that's. That's technically that's takeout food. That's quick food. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I mean, even frat boys be like Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that is not adventure whatsoever. And it was something else like really common that he hadn't had before either. I don't remember what it was anymore.
Yeah, this homie, like that's not okay. But yeah, Mark, lighten up, bro. I really, because I don't think I know we've gotten on Lindsay a lot and deservedly so in all those situations. I don't think Lindsay's the worst person in the world. I think she does need to get her. She's angry drunk, and that needs to come. That means that she's got some repressed anger. Also, I mean, she's got some repressed anger and she expresses it very, very energetically and enthusiastically. And so she does probably, I ain't no psychologist, but I think, you know, when you got anger issues like that, you probably need to seek help for that.
Right.
But that you know, some therapy will do her good. But beyond that, she's okay as a person. I mean, especially the way she tries for you.
Right.
So.
And then he's like, are you going to be in the pictures? Are you going to be in the pictures? I would have been like, F your pictures, you know what I mean?
And she got up and did it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, she got up and did it because she's not, even as much as she says, you know, you got to earn me.
I'm done.
I think she wants to give.
Yeah.
Like, she really wants to give.
She does.
You're there. She wants to be, she wants to be the person for you. You're there. Mark, it's time for you to meet her halfway. Mm-hmm. And if not, y'all not going to make it.
Right.
So, we should move on to Noi and Steve.
Noi and Steve. This was interesting. So, Steve is still on some, I don't need to work, I don't need a plan. And the thing about it is, like, we have been saying, Steve, share your plan with Noi so that she can get on board. And then, you know, maybe all will be well, because he keeps talking about she don't believe in me, you know, all this kind of stuff. What, you don't believe I can make money? You know, like, that's not the point. The point is she doesn't know what you're supposed to be doing every day. She doesn't know what you're working towards, or what your goals or aspirations are, she doesn't know any of that. And so Steve shared that with her, and we keep saying that. However, now we learn Steve don't even have his own plan. You know, Steve is like, Noi, I'm waiting for you to tell me the plan.
And that's not
fair. Right, of when we're going to have kids, or when we're going to buy a house, or I'm waiting for you to plan out the future of our family, and then I'll create my plan around the plan that you have created for us. However, if while you're creating that plan and working and splitting half of these chores with me, while you're doing that and I'm taking naps with sushi, if you want me to actually be working too, I won't have the creative energy in order to create my part of the plan. But you do your part first.
Yeah, I think that's lazy, and that's like a big excuse. It's like, hey, if you don't want to tell me what to do, then I'm not going to do anything.
Right. And
she doesn't want a layup husband. And I think he's either too dumb to realize it, or he's holding back for a reason.
He's holding back for a reason, in my opinion. And that reason is he don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he because he probably is like I really do think, okay, it's one or two things.
Mm-hmm. Lay it on me.
So I went over this last night. He probably got like a lot of money in the bank, and he's just not sharing it for whatever reason, because maybe he's also leery about committing his finances, or he ain't got nothing in the bank, and he doesn't have a plan and was really just trying to get on TV and live off of her until he needs to do something. Like, but you should be self-motivated, to an extent, to take care of yourself. So, they start talking about their plans for the future. He's trying to get a plan out of her, and she's like, well, I don't want to make plans. I don't want to move in together, after decision day. I want to live apart.
Yeah. Before you go into that, let me respond to what you said about the one of two things. So I don't think it's that he has a lot of money in the bank. And the reason why I don't think that is that earlier on in the episodes, he was talking about, but if we're going to if we're going to buy a house, then, then I would get a job then. Like he was saying that to one of the experts and stuff. So he doesn't have, I'm going to buy a house money in the bank. He don't have a couple $100,000 laying around. He don't have that. And so if you have anything less than that, then you don't have a lot of money. And even if you have that, it's a gnat flying, sorry. Even if you have that without a plan and constantly working towards how do you keep it without just spending it out, because at some point you want to spend it down. So if you don't have a plan, then even that money is not a lot of money because you're going to have to spend it and you don't have the means to replace it.
Well, it's obviously you don't want to work.
Right.
And he's not going to work until she gives him a reason to work.
Right.
And she obviously doesn't like that. I don't like that. You don't like that. The world don't like that.
And the thing about it, like this, I don't even know if her expectation is that he just has a traditional 9-to-5. I'm sure that's probably what she has in her mind because that's what she's used to. However, if he had a plan for consistent income that he was actually enacting, or if he was saying, like he talked about wanting to do graphic design and things like that. So, okay, let me take these courses. Let me do this. Let me start a website or whatever. If he was doing that.
If he was actively seeking out the career or the
thing that's going to better him.
He don't have to clock in and go to work and punch a clock.
Mm-hmm.
He could go and be a graphic designer, freelancing, etc., contractor, whatever, and that's a perfectly viable way to make a living.
Absolutely.
But just have something. So why he hasn't done that, I don't know. Pardon me, I do know, but it's just that's your problem. Like that is the problem in your marriage. Is a problem for Noizy. Now moving on to
not wanting to combine.
Well, first it was like the first issue because we've been on Steve. Like I don't really rock with Noizy and her saying he needs to kiss her ass.
No, I didn't like that. He seemed to take it in stride, so I don't know whether he felt like she was joking, maybe, but I didn't care for that.
Yeah, that was a little too, because you could see it coming, and they kept the camera on her facial expressions when they were talking about splitting the chores, and she said, "Well, I'll do my closet, you do the bathroom." She wants to do her clothes, which probably needs to be organized, and Steve probably is like, "Well, I mean, that's a you thing." Assuming he has a closet, he has clothes, and he keeps that clean, or he has to keep that clean, or whatever. That's his thing. But y'all both got these bathrooms, and he's trying to divide the chores up in the apartment. And she's like, "Well, you don't work. I work. So you need to do the bathrooms." And I think the attitude about it is probably, is probably a lot. Especially because he's doing it because she doesn't want to do it. And then telling him, and then like you could see the face coming, and just was like, "I don't want to do the bathrooms," And Steve was like, well, yeah, you're going to do the bathrooms. And she's like, no, I'm not. You need to kiss my ass because you don't work. And no, that's not okay. You don't want to subjugate somebody no matter what the circumstances is. Just divorce the dude. Like y'all got, I mean, as the show's run, y'all got 20 days to be together. Deal with it for now, and then just split. That he not your slave. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that.
I mean, definitely not. And I didn't like that she said that. I didn't like she said it like that. And I didn't like that scenario. I do understand her desire to have him, do more of the household chores, because it seems like, like he's waiting for the weekend when they're both, free so that they can split things. And he's had during the week where he was already free and was lounging and taking naps and, stuff like that. And like, that could have been done already. But then you wait for, for her to have time off. And she's like, but I have this other thing that I need to do. I get what she's saying. I don't like how she went about it, though.
To be 100% honest with you, I don't see nothing wrong with him doing all the household chores.
I don't either.
If he's not working.
Right.
I don't. But this whole... you need to kiss my ass.
Yeah, as I was saying,
that part.
I agree with her thought process. I don't agree with how she handled the situation.
Yeah, and that was a little too raw. Like that was Noizy coming out.
Yeah, but he was just like, "Oh, okay, we getting spicy," and like he was like, that's all he said about it. I was like, okay, that's
because I think Steve is trying to salvage this. And Noi is trying to push him away.
Mm-hmm.
That whole part of her that wanted to be in love, I think that part is fading, and the reality is setting in for her. And when they started talking about, their future plans, she said, "I don't want to move in. I don't want to mix my finances with yours, etc." She even talked about it with her sister. Just I don't want to do that because she's probably afraid that he's going to come in, live off of her, and not contribute, and possibly ruin her finances. And that's not okay. And
Yeah.
Steve, you need to give your spouse some assurances.
Yep.
Like you really do. I don't know how you vision marriage to be, but I think both of y'all needed both partners need assurances, and Noi seems to be willing to give that. Steve is not, and
in
that's
many ways,
something I have a problem.
In many ways, Steve is very selfish in that regard, and then he's expecting her to think selfishly like he does. He keeps saying things like, "But have you been financially impacted?" All those kinds of things. First of all, y'all living rent free in this apartment,
you're not gonna
and you're paying your own rents. I'm assuming in your own places. So that you can keep those apartments while you're living rent free in this apartment. And, that being the case, what financial impact would she possibly see? She doesn't have anything to do with your finances. You are handling your own bills. She is handling her own bills. So, of course, there's no financial impact, Steve. But if y'all were to move in together, however, and she still doesn't know your financial situation, what your plans are to earn money, whether it's traditional employment or otherwise, what your goals in life are, she wants to know that you're not a lazy bum, and she doesn't feel comfortable joining everything with you, and then she's potentially in a situation where she has to take care of you, and that's not fair to do that. It's just not fair. But then you're like, but then what's the point of being married? The point of being married is I actually love you, and I would like to see things get better. Maybe that gives us time and space for things to get better. And that's not how I would want my marriage to go. And that's not how I would want to be in a relationship with someone that I say I love and who says they love me. However, I could see that she doesn't want to just break it off. She wants a chance for it to work, but she needs for him to show her something.
Yeah, and she's not going to commit to anything. I think she's definitely out. I think Steve is going to want to stay, but she's definitely out.
If he doesn't get his act together, then for sure. Yeah. And it doesn't look like he will, because he seems to be like being willfully ignorant of the situation at this point in time. Yeah. And, I know next week, I believe, the episode is coming where they individually meet with the experts, who definitely have not been as involved this season as they need to have been. But they're supposed to be meeting individually with the experts.
These marriages is falling apart, bro.
Truly. I mean, it's like dumpster fire. And so, who knows what will happen in the conversations with Steve and what will click, for him that he needs to do. But he certainly doesn't seem to want to do anything right now. And I can see why that makes her uncomfortable. Yeah. So that's our commentary. That's all 4 couples. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know what you think. Get down in the comments. Let us know what you think about Mark and Lindsay, Noi and Steve, Jasmina and Michael, and Katina and Isaac, because they are tripping. And let us know what your predictions are, since they had that little prediction episode last week. And, we didn't get into that. You guys have watched that on your own. But we would like to hear what your predictions are based on all that we've seen so far. So we looking forward to conversing with you down in the comments. Until then, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. Hit the notification bell so that you see all of our uploads. And looking forward to see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.
Peace out.